It is my very first visit to this country, so I'm extremely happy to be here. And I've heard so much about Bangladesh. And for the Bata Shoe organization, it's always been a very, very important country. So it's taken me a long time to come, but I'm finally here. And it's certainly been a worthwhile trip. And I can only say that my welcome has been something absolutely fantastic. So, yeah. Before I came, I started reading a little bit the history. And I think what struck me the most was you're a new country, 1971. You're a new country, and you came from a long way away. In other words, I don't know the exact numbers, but in 1971, there was a percentage underneath the line of poverty that was much too high. And that I think you're probably, if I'm not mistaken, the country in the world where you have decreased the level of poverty the fastest. So when you look at that, already before even arriving, I said, this must be quite an exceptional country. How can you do that? And you know that it's actually the people. It's because they're dynamic. It's because they're determined, because they're looking in a forward direction. And since I've stepped off that airplane, my thoughts have been confirmed. So I'm extremely happy to be here. And I'm going to say it again, the warmth of the Bangladeshi people has really taken me by surprise, has really touched me. I came most of all, well, to visit our company and to visit our team, but it's also on the 21st of September, we celebrate what we call the Founders' Day, which is the date where the Bata Shoe organization was created by my grandfather, Thomas Bata. So after Thomas Bata, there was another Thomas Bata who was my father, and then it was my generation, and now there are 7 children behind us, all of which are very responsible owners. Some of them work in the organization or on boards, but they're all extremely involved in the company. So Founders Day is really a time where we celebrate with our employees, with our customers, and within the communities where we operate. And we try to share a little bit our values. And the Bata family has a very, very strong set of values. And already my grandfather really started the company not only to shoe mankind, but to give better lives to people. And if you think about it, the company in Bangladesh was started, I think, 60 years ago. So for the grandfather to come to Bangladesh 60 years ago and to give employment, often it was the first employment in someone's life. It really changed their lives. And so today, through our Bata Children's Program and through our volunteering efforts for our employees, I think we are trying to continue improving lives as much as we can. Oh, seniors! On his visiting card, yes. Nasia, you're absolutely right. Yeah. It is Senior Shoe Salesman. He never wanted another title. He was never CEO. He was never. All he wanted to do was to show people a pair of Bata shoes and to convince them that they were the best affordable shoes that you could make. And I think what you're saying, you're absolutely right. And that's the huge advantage of a family company, that a family can give much more of their personality to their company. And our values, we were very lucky to have a grandfather who had such unbelievable values. Now, for example, one of the values that he has is be bold. Now that is something that for me describes the Bangladeshi people very well. Be bold, dare to do it, move forward, do it. But I think, you're saying what comes first for us. Yeah. Is very easy. What comes first for us is our customer. Our legacy for me is our reputation. It's our reputation as a leading global shoe manufacturer. I think it's as being an example of a responsible capitalist company that believe in our employees and who realize our success is in the hands of our employees. I would say that today would be our legacy. Well, I think that it depends. At the time of my grandfather, you would have these factory towns where you're absolutely right to point out, for example, Bata Nagar, where traditionally the town would be called Bata, and then we would take the suffix that was typical of the country. So, for example, in Canada, it was Batawa after Ottawa. In France, it would be Bataville, etc. It was a way of the way of doing business, where you would have the factory, and the most important part of the town was the factory building. And instead of having a temple or a church in the middle of the town, you would have the chimney stack. And then you would have the workers' houses, you'd have the hospital, you'd have the school, you'd have the cinema. Times have changed. And today we partnership much more with our employees. We like to consider ourselves to be a family that believes in responsible capitalism. Well, the Bata Children's Program, it's a very unique program because it's really a volunteer program for our employees. So we have, in every one of our operating companies, we have a Bata Children's Program committee that's made up of employees. And the employees can be our factory employees, our store employees, or our office employees. And they will decide a little bit what type of volunteering they'd like to do. And I think what is unique in our company is that we realized quite quickly that what we could do, that many NGOs couldn't do, is a lot of mentoring, all right? So it's not just donating money, but it's when our employees donate time and their knowledge to help children. And so one of the new programs that we're just initiating right now in Bangladesh, and that we're very, very proud of, is these SOS children's villages, which are villages that are made more for vulnerable children. We were all brought up from generation to generation, and the way I brought up my children, where in the evenings over dinner table we would speak about our business. All right. As a child, I traveled hugely with my parents during my school holidays, with my brother and with my sisters visiting factories. And we more or less continued the same tradition with our own children. But they were under absolutely no pressure to join the Batashu organization. What we did inculcate in each one of them was that they are a responsible owner, that this comes with a huge privilege to be part of our family, but there is a duty that comes with it, and that is that of a responsible owner. And no matter what they do as a profession, and you said that one of my sons is a journalist, he continues the family values, and he certainly will come to the Bata meetings, and he will be the first to speak very well about our company, but not necessarily in his magazine, as it would be a conflict of interest. Yeah.